Good evening to you, the great people of AMBAZONIA, and good evening to you all, our televiewers. Thank you for joining us today. The leader of AMBAZONIA War of Liberation, Dr. Choluka Sayaba, has made one of the most consequential address to the Ambazonian people and to the international community today. Over the last few weeks, we have seen Ambazonian offensive and the escalation of the conflict from an Ambazonian perspective in terms of the resistance and in terms of our liberation policies, action plan, and ideas. What the leader has said today, it's a very decisive speech. It's a very decisive address. It will profoundly change the trajectory, the direction of the conflict, and the future of Ambazonia. It will also change the war on the ground between Ambazonia and Cameroon. Things will never be the same again. That shouldn't be my conclusion. Today we have an outspoken comrade, an outspoken leader, an outspoken barrister, a man of law, man of international law. You all know him. He needs no introduction. But today we have the privilege to do a post-speech analysis on the president's address with someone that is honest, balanced, someone that has foresight, but also someone who's also very controversial sometimes, right? So we have the privilege today to be joined by the outspoken Barrister Tumasang, who will also be joined by the press secretary of the president of AMBAZONIA Governing Council. Barrister Tumasang, good evening to you in the United Kingdom.
Hi, good evening, and good evening to the other panelists and your audience. Thank you.
Barrister, first of all, let me extend an apology to you due to the nature of all of us trying to make sure that we fulfill the obligations to our people. Sometimes we're moving up and down. I'm in a completely different location right now because of the nature of the weekend here in Canada. So we're sorry for being a little bit late, and also due to technical issues, Comrade, the press secretary, will be joining us very shortly. Now, let us start with you. You've watched and listened to the address given by the leader, the president of AMBAZONIA Governing Council today. Let us start with what's your overall impression of that speech? Oh, is that your camera?
Sorry. Yeah,
it's all right. It's technology. If you can move a little bit to the middle, and you can move. Yeah. You still on the corner. No,
Okay.
you're way on the corner. All right.
Yeah.
And then if you can move a little bit back.
Yeah.
Is there any,
Concerning your question. Hello.
is there any room for you to move a little bit back? You're just too close to the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, now you're leaning. Yeah, you're leaning. If you can just move back without leaning too much.
Okay. No. I couldn't get the thing to connect on my laptop, so I'm just using the phone. That's the reason. So you have to bear with me.
No worries. We'll bear with you. It's all technology. We are all trying to adapt.
Okay. Yeah, concerning your question, I listened to the speech. I think the speech was a very good speech. It was very holistic. It addressed a lot of key fundamental issues. Part of the speech seems to be directed to the international community, countries like Norway, like Canada, and the rest, that they should resist any type of arm twisting, any type of blackmail from La République du Cameroon to do their bidding directly or indirectly. That is part of the speech. The second speech was directed at our people, because you always hear, oh, our people will suffer, our people will suffer, we go suffer, our people are risk. So he mentioned that the cost of acquiescence, the cost of staying in bondage far supersedes any cost we can pay in resisting the occupier. So it's a key fundamental issue. When everybody is saying, oh, if you do this, our people will suffer, our people will be at risk. If you do nothing and acquiesce, the cost of acquiescence is far superior to the cost of resistance, both in the medium term and the long term. So he addressed that issue. Then he went to some historical perspective to explain where we are coming from and where we are today. So I believe the speech, and then the speech was good in another way because it doesn't seem to address ATF. It was addressing the Ambazonia people, including fighters from every other camp, including prisoners of war who have nothing to do with Ambazonia, even refugees. So I think the speech was more like a nationalist talking than an ATF head talking. So from my opinion, I believe it's a very good speech anyway.
Well, based on that, the fact that it has a holistic perspective that addressed key issues in our liberation struggle, from domestic and issues that concerns international implications and in their nature. Now, recently, in that speech, you've also seen the bullying of the Cameroon government using TV stations. Oh, your camera again.
Yeah.
You've
Sorry?
seen acts of you probably read and
Hello?
seen some acts.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
What's happened now? Am I muted?
No, you're not muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you a bit now, not like before though.
What about now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. You know, he talked about the attitude of bullying and the actions of public using social media, using newspapers, using paid agents in Cameroon to carry out acts of bullying against the leader, against the Ambazonian people, and even threats against states like Norway. So, what do you think about the leader coming out and addressing the international community, explaining to them about these acts of bullying from Cameroon? Because you've seen what's happening between Israel.
To be honest, while it is okay, but I don't think it's sufficient. If Cameroon is bullying Norway, bullying these people, he as a leader has to address a letter to them, explaining where we are, La Republic is doing, giving the evidence of what they are doing. talking on YouTube by itself, how many people listen to YouTube? He might say it here, but he must follow it with a tangible letter to all these entities in the international community to explain the situation, so that when La Republic is coming with their bullying and the rest, it means nothing. They already know the truth. So that is one aspect. In terms of internally bullying their radio stations using social media, we are at war. We cannot tell the opponent how he fights his war. If he's fighting using social media, television, and the rest, we just have to try and counter it. I'm not going to tell La Republic how you fight your war. Let them fight the way they can. It is his war. Hello?
Well, we can hear you. So what about the allegations that the Republic has used a certain barrister, Barrister Nsala Emmanuel, to sue Dr. Choba, the leader, and the Prime Minister of Norway in a court in the United States?
Yeah, but Shailai has been on all these games now. Which of the cases? He has sued Chris Anu, he sued Tampang Ivo, he might sue Ayaba Choi, sue the whole world. Let him sue. So what is there? He's not won any of the cases. He's making his money. La Republic is sponsoring him. So it's like he's fishing. He keeps trying to look for fishing for forum, fishing for defendant, fishing for plaintiff. He went to one case, say, oh, they've killed thousands of people, call them John Doe. They say, the judge say, give me the list of all these people they've killed. He has no list of people which the defendant, they almost he had issues because they say he inventing the case. So he would sue. Don't expect, if he sues, what is your business? Is he the first person he's suing? He's always done that. So the guys, all what Ayaba has to write to the Prime Minister and the government of Norway, explain the cases these guys are involved in. He has lost all them. He's a serial litigant. So they know that that is what he's doing.
Can someone from Cameroon, who also happens to be an American citizen, sue the Prime Minister of Norway in a court in the United States?
I don't know. There is immunity issue. So there is immunity issue. I don't know whether you can take the president of a country and go and sue in a foreign court. If he's suing, he has to get. You sue foreigners under there's an act there which deals with the terrorism out of the US and the rest. But I don't think that is the act. I don't know what act he's using, but let's wait and see. Maybe it's just suing for publicity. If they go there, they strike the Prime Minister's name out, but he would have gained the publicity. So there is a possibility you can sue anybody, whether they will have jurisdiction for that person suing. I can go to court now and submit a paper, sue the whole world. If the other people are not to be sued, they don't have jurisdiction or they have immunity, they will make their names out. But I've made my publicity. So I don't think it's a big deal. Let him sue who he wants. So, nobody is stopping serious? Anybody from suing.
Is this something serious?
No, anything that goes to court is serious until it is thrown out. When Tapang was sued, it was serious until it was thrown out. When Chris Anu was sued, it was serious until it's thrown out. So we have to wait until it is thrown out. You don't minimize it. You answer it accordingly if you are sued anyway. So so far he is suing. He is suing. First of all, you are suing somebody who is not in the country there. He has to go. Ayaba has to go to America for him to be served, or for him. How you suing him? How? The guy is not even in America. So all this suing, is it a civil litigation or is it criminal? What kind of suing is this?
The Prime Minister
he is suing is a civil litigation.
Nobody has received any. Nobody has received any notification, except on newspaper.
Yeah, even if you receive, it means nothing. The guy is suing you in a civil case. At the end, what will he do? You, no, is it not money you're looking for? Nobody is saying it's a criminal matter. If it's a criminal matter, you take it serious. If it's suing for money, you have to prove what you've done personally and why you don't have to do it. So any suing of anybody is an inconvenience. You get my point? The suing of anybody is an inconvenience. I don't know whether they can bully I don't know whether they can bully Norway to say go and answer your case in America. If you seek for repatriation or for extradition of somebody, it's mainly for a criminal case. Nobody extradites you for a civil matter. So if he's suing, it's a civil matter. If he reports and gives a petition for the Attorney General or somebody now for the prosecuting arm to prosecute as a criminal matter, then that's when you can go for extradition. But if it's a civil matter, nobody extradites somebody to go and answer civil matter.
All right. Well, thanks for that.
To be honest, it's not me talking about, you cannot be talking about something you've not seen. Until they serve you the papers, you will know what he's suing, under what heading is suing, under which law is suing, and what is the mechanism for jurisdiction. You just talking theoretically is not helping. It's like we are just doing an academic exercise.
Okay, but since it's appeared on one of Cameroon newspaper and they are using it as an act of probably just using it for hype, right? So
but La Republique has put so many things in. La Republique in the past has put so many things in their newspapers for propaganda. You know that when they were suing Tampang Ivor and Chris Anu, was it not headlines in all their papers for months? Nothing came out of it. So why would this one be any different?
So should it turn out to be just a smoke screen? What about it? What about the article that has appeared on that news?
Smoke screen. Until you get some paper, you don't. Court matters, you don't get them from newspapers. Somebody has to serve you the documents.
All right, now let's move.
Legal matters are not matters you learn from the newspaper.
All right.
To be honest, for me, I don't think he might sue though, because the guy is a serial litigant. Whether he will go anywhere with it, I don't know, but he might sue. Why don't he come to Norway and sue in the Norwegian courts? Why would somebody go and sue in America when the guy is in Norway?
It would have made sense if he had sued in the court in Cameroon in Yaoundé.
Go and listen there. Anyway, no problem. I don't think that is a main issue. It's not really, until you get some concrete stuff. It's just newspaper hype for now.
So basically, your advice you've put forth is that all those nations that have been mentioned, including Canada, which the peace talk, the pre-talks, the pre-negotiation talks took place here in 2020, December, October, November, and December 2022. You know about that. So now he has also, so for you is that not only to address these issues on TV, but that Governing Council Executive Office should write to address a letter to the government of Canada to inform
of course,
them,
and put even a copy of the newspaper, and then put the other copies also for the other cases. This guy is a serial litigant. It's a nuisance all over the place. So you put all of that information, you give them a lot information as possible, explain to them, give them the background of the case, show that we've tried to negotiate, we've been to negotiations, the Republic withdrew, show that they are the ones who are wanting the problem to continue, not us. Show they talk about the Swiss process, the Canadian process. You bring all information about everything. You bring and you note there that Norway voted for our independence. So let them show us the independence. They actually captured us in 1972. So you have to prepare a proper brief to send to the Canadian government and even their private, whoever they mention there. Even as a joke, you still address the issue. So that before they come, these guys already have knowledge.
Recently, you've been a key supporter of a policy within the struggle. You've been a key supporter. Your Facebook pages are filled with your daily comments and statements about this policy, which the leader has talked about today, the ban of the yellow taxis within AMBAZONIA. As you know, the last 1 month, there's an escalation of the ban of taxis in Bamenda. And you've been a key supporter of that. And the leader talked about that today. I want to ask you, What made you to be so outspoken about this policy and to be such a supporter of this policy and an advocate of this policy?
No, to my mind, the policy has merit. The policy by itself, if it works, fine. Even if the policy was not to work, there are a lot of collateral gains. For example, the struggle was getting a bit neglected by activists, neglected by so many people. This one struggle, this taxi ban will bring it out back to the core, and everybody will be talking about it. It will revitalize as if we are in 2017. I discovered that from the beginning. That thing will put back the struggle on the lips and the newspaper and the televisions all over. And people who were quiet, everybody will come up. That's one of the things. Secondly, La Republic's key issue is integration, is to assimilate us. Our key policy should be to try differentiation, to try to show that we are different from them. Even if it's just one pen, we put different from them. Now their school year starts in September. We insisting our school year should start in October. 1 month difference. Literally, show our difference. If we change the color of the taxes, we remove the yellow there, it's fine. The only thing I've been preaching is, if you make a policy, try to make it peaceful, if you can. Yes, you can be collateral damage, but you must limit it as much as possible. You don't go using violence unless it's extremely necessary. Key the policy towards trying to people. They would advertise this thing at the end. Go to Bamenda, more than 80% of the taxis have disappeared. You don't know where they are. Many have changed their colors. Some Bamlikis have taken theirs to Bafusam and Douala and Yaoundé. The place is empty. Stand under a hospital to take a taxi to Commission Avenue. You take 30 minutes, you don't see. You see private cars, clandos. I had one friend, one guy, he says he's a junior man, went from Bafut to Bamenda with his Hilux. When he went, he was surprised that hardly see any taxis on the road. People are there breaking the Hilux to enter as passengers. He was shocked. What is happening? People are breaking my Hilux to enter. It's never been happening like this because there are no vehicles. So now at the end, he went to town. He realized even the town is almost ghosted. He says, no, I cannot. No, the kind money if he came man and go me back for Bafut. He drove his Hilux back to Bafut. So even before tomorrow, the policy has already worked. No policy works 100%. When you do a policy, there's what they call a confidence coefficient of confidence, which is maybe like 85% confidence that you can succeed 85%. They call it, there's always what we call an error coefficient, what they call a stochastic coefficient. So there's always that element there. You will never have 100%, but the bulk of the thing, it will disappear already, even before the first. So the policy happened, and if you look, there is nothing wrong with the policy by itself. It had a lot of opposition because people were scared of Ayaba. They thought this policy was initiated by Ayaba, implementing without consulting others. Therefore, he seized power and he thinks he's the only person ruling Ambazonia. I spoke to one of the key activists. I don't like naming names. He says whatever, not that he is fighting tooth and nail against this policy because Ayaba never consulted anybody, all the other stakeholders. Not that the policy is bad. I say, hey, Ayaba never initiated the policy. Ayaba heard about the policy and keyed in. He supports the policy. So if you support a policy that fighters in Mezam Unity Warriors and the rest originated, how can you now turn around and be going around consulting stakeholders? If he was the originator, you blame him for not consulting other stakeholders. But if he's an entity who's influential on the ground that keyed in, how do you blame Ayaba? The policy became so successful that my country people panic that Ayaba is gonna get all the credit. He turned around and said he is the one who initiated the policy, that he is the one who is policy and deceived. You invent a policy, the senior government officials, they are holding meetings upon meetings to fight a policy that Cameroon government initiated. The type of lies my country people, you could see that the policy has defeated them. Go to Douala now, some camps, women are sitting there and crying. Well, because of this policy, they've called up a lot of military which they want to send to Bamenda. Their wives are crying and tears are coming down. We hear from people who are in Douala. They name some quartiers that women are sitting on the doors crying. Say, Madame, c'est encore quoi? N'est-ce pas, on a affecté mon mari là-bas à Bamenda. On dit que c'est la cause des taxis. So she's crying. So you could see that this policy, whatever you talk about it, it has really regalvanized the struggle. It's a frontal attack on La République du Cameroon. It has made everybody talking about the thing. So it's got a lot of gains. Yes, we try. Nobody, you don't kill your people if you can. You don't even destroy their assets if you can. You try to implement your policy as peaceful as you can. Nothing can be 100% peaceful, but if you look for 100% peaceful, you never do anything. So there is a chance that yes, one or two rogue people might do one or two things, but it's like that in any policy. But since more than 85% have already removed, they don't change to blue and white for fear of La République, they just remove it from yellow. So with that, policy is already peaceful because 85% achieved already without any violence. So it's a peaceful policy. It has been done. I think Ayaba was a visionary to have seen this policy and seen the effect. And I believe the other leaders also, they see the policy and they know it's good, but their problem is they were never consulted. Ayaba is trying to take over and be deciding everything in ground zero like the de facto ruler without consulting them, which they are not happy with it. That's why they are fighting, not to do the policy.
So when you spoke to them, their reason now is it's not the policy. It's now attached to an individual. It's now attached to a movement. It's now attached to an organization. It's no longer the policy.
You are correct. Yes, you are correct. That is their greatest problem. Attached. They are only using, oh, our people will put at risk, our people will suffer, our people. The cost of resistance is far less to the cost of acquiescence. So they are just using our people. If you look, when you beat them in an argument, they say our people will suffer. When you put liberation tax, our people will suffer. I asked TV, in Cristiano's TV, that even when our people were poorer than today during colonial times, were they not paying poll tax? Were they not, even their cattle was paying Jangali tax? So why our people who have developed and become richer today for mere liberation tax, they will suffer more than they suffered before in the even right down to colonial times? Is La République taxing people not suffering? So the issue, they're just using let me give you the full perspective here.
Can you give us the full perspective? Yeah, can you give us the full perspective?
Let me give you the full perspective. Sako was almost emerging as the de jure and the de facto leader. He was thinking that yes, he had some guys on the ground, and then you had the the Restoration Council and the rest. They were looking some things looking legit. Then he had his issues with Chris Anu and one lady spreading her legs. Then Chris Anu kind of stabbed him in the back. The stab was as deep as a well and as wide as a church door. Sako will never recover from that stabbing, no matter what he does. As he's operating in a specter of somebody who they removed from power who is clinging to power. Considering Africa that most leaders try to cling to power, Sako is damaged goods. He can never come back to be the de facto leader on the ground and to be the de jure leader. He will never. So that opportunity, Sako was knocked out, technically by an internal palace coup. Chris Anu came. Chris Anu had the opportunity also to de facto leader on the ground and to be the de jure leader, having got some elections, Restoration Council, and the less. Chris Anu's greatest weakness is his inability to raise money. He tried raising money, not a penny was coming in. So it was very bad. And then he made the fundamental error of not going into self-defense. He never built in an army on the ground. He never invested in a chain of command. He was just operating in the air thinking, oh, every fighter on the ground is my fighter because I'm the president and I don't need to have a fighter. You cannot be operating like that. You will never be a de facto leader where you don't have a force on the ground. So Chris Anu too, because of lack of ability to raise funds and failure to in self-defense, have an army and the rest, Chris Anu was knocked out also on the game. So the only person remaining now basically Ayaba. Ayaba has the leader, the force on the ground, and Ayaba is standing there. Ayaba now too was stabbed very badly. Ayaba was given a dangerous stabbing by Capo Daniel, which could have destroyed the whole of Ayaba and even ADF. So now Capo Daniel was caught collecting money from La République du Cameroon. It was easy to appropriate that malfeasance to say, oh, this is evidence where ADF is collecting from La Republique, Ayaba and Capo, them are all tarnished good. But miraculously or through some magic, Ayaba came out clean in the whole thing. Ayaba increased his social outing. Ayaba went now beyond ADF, now interacting with other fighters out of ADF. So his image, the damage which Capo tried to do to Ayaba is zero. He's blunted. No matter what Capo Daniel says, means nothing. Nobody is listening. So Ayaba came out of that calamity unscathed. So he's standing strong and he's frightening all the other leaders. So now Ayaba is now on the ground. He has a force and he's basically the strongest person in Mezam. You control Mezam in this war, you control the war. So the other people are seeing the reality. It's frightening them, where they can realize Ayaba somehow through some technicality becomes man. So all these policies they are fighting has nothing to do. When you see Sikot saying, oh, people in uprising should rise against Ayaba in Bachibo, Mezam people should rise, it's all about the power play, where Sako, Chris Anu and other people realize that, hey, we are dreaming like this, Ayaba is becoming central. Ayaba of late has polished his image, he's taken a central role, he's becoming more state-manly, he's looking at the thing beyond ADF, which is frightening everybody. So this is the big picture, nothing to do. That taxi issue is just a pawn in a big game. Otherwise, this taxi thing would have been a known issue to many people. Why would people be killing themselves for taxi thing? It's all about, oh, they think it's Ayaba. That is their problem. They're scared that Ayaba he bought some guns, he's kept them, now he's taking over. That's their problem. That's the big picture.
Thank you for being so dramatic.
No, I'm not being dramatic. It's the reality. Nobody says it, but we see it. We know this is the truth. It's about power, fighting between people, different people. It's nothing about taxi color. Taxi color here or there. Most of them, you talk to them before people are saying, but why didn't he consult other people? What if our people now get hurt? What if our people's livelihoods? I ask our people, how many do our people own taxis? How many people own taxis? You are talking about, first of all, a bulk of this taxi owned by Bamliki, a few people. Where would our people get money to paint taxi? I said to paint a taxi with imitation pen is 75,000. To paint with original pen around 125,000. Will you get a taxi costing millions? You cannot spend 75,000 to paint a taxi. People should not be looking for flimsy excuses. I don't have time for all that. The only thing is we try and decrease the collateral damage, not hurt our people, not even destroy goods. The policies worked already by itself. It's worked. By fighting too much against this public, they gave it too much publicity. Publicity is key, and they gave the policy 100%, so it just worked by itself.
And what do you think? What do you think Cameroon is thinking all this while about the success of this policy and the defiance, education, inspiration, and encouragement that the leader is giving the people on a daily basis?
No, La Republique knows that this thing. They thought they will use force and win this thing. It is dawning on them that force cannot win this thing. I remember when they interviewed, what was this liar's name, Chiruma on Al Jazeera. That lady was asking him, say, but now, why don't you talk to these people? He said, talk what? Talk what? How can you talk to people who have it as a religion in their head to secede? In the head of all these people is like a religion. What can you offer them? What can you talk to them? You just have to keep fighting them because we don't know what to tell them. What can you give these people? This secession thing is a religion in their head. They asked that, but in hindsight, you think you took the right route? He said, to be fair, if we were to time, they would have taken a totally different route. That their greatest error was they underrated the role of the diaspora in this thing. They didn't realize that these people had rubber guns and nothing. They didn't realize that that initial help from diaspora is what now finalized the struggle. Now, very little help comes from diaspora. The thing is self-funding by itself in a lot of places. So that is the situation there. So I think La Republique knows the truth now, but it's just that they cannot accept in public. They've tried to say, let's change tactics, let's kill some leaders. They go and kill RK, kill Field Marshal of Lebialem and all that. But it doesn't change anything. They were even thinking that when they capture the head of the revolution, like Siseko, they will end. It doesn't seem to do. They've tried. That is, they are losing their senses because they don't know what to do next. They've tried to burn villages, people to be afraid. They burned 600 villages, nothing happened. They try to kill people here, nothing. They're killing people to go and place in market squares to frighten the rest. Nothing is not working. La République, their model is not working. They've used bribe to bribe people here and there. It doesn't work because we are in groups. You cannot bribe every group. So they are in a very serious problem. They might not accept now, but after some time, maybe Biya is so too advanced to change course now and negotiate is too much humiliation. He will just continue the fight till he dies. The new man comes and negotiate. That's all.
We've been joined in the studio now by the press secretary of the leader of our liberation, Dr. Chulu Kasayaba. Press secretary, Comrade Cecilia, thanks for joining us. We're so delighted you made it.
Thank you very much, folks. And greetings to you, Barrister Tumasang. I've been following you guys. I was supposed to be here earlier, but I'm here now. Thanks for everything you've been saying.
No, I've been thanks for coming. Better late than never.
Indeed. Okay.
Yes, you've been following the discussion. You obviously watched and listened to the leader's address today to the people. A very consequential and decisive address. Let me just ask you the same question that I asked the barrister. What's your impression about this speech that, in my opinion, it's one of the most defiant speech a leader has ever made? What's your overall impression?
Well, thank you very much, folks. To be honest with you, being with the leader over the years, I didn't expect anything less from what he delivered today. And being the consistent leader that he is and the visionary that he is, I mean, I think that our people should honestly be proud to have a leader like Dr. Cho Kasayaba, because he's consistent, he's focused, and he knows exactly what is good for the people. He understands the system. He knows what will bring La République on his knees, to his knees. And this is exactly what he's doing. We all heard, just like Barrister Tumasang is saying, La République is so frustrated, they don't even know what to do anymore. They are just so ashamed to openly come out now and tell the people, oh, look, they've defeated us. Because they thought these guys were just going to hit the street for 1 week and boom, they will come back on their knees. But they've really seen that over the years, those 2 cubes of sugars they thought we are not the 2 cubes of sugars, and they've not been able to defeat us in the battlefield. Even on the social media, they've used all type of propaganda to intimidate us, especially using their proxies like the barrister guy, the Sila Emmanuel, who goes about, claiming to sue people at the ICC and all of that. It has not worked. The people are defiant. The people are still steadfast. They want their freedom. And this is what the leader is preparing us for. This is what the leader is telling the people. If you want freedom, when we say freedom, we need freedom. And independence truly means independence. So our people, does he really have the roadmap? This is what we ask ourselves. Has he been consistent? Yes. Is he working for Ambazonians? Is he doing everything to make sure that we all return home, that our refugees go back home, that our IDPs, they return back home, that we have a place, truly a place called a homeland? This is what he's been standing for. And when people jump into conclusion or start attacking policies without truly understanding the importance of that policy, just like the taxi color that we are talking about today, it is something that we have to own it. If you truly want to be separated from a people, you have to begin to do your own things the right way. And this taxi color, implementing this taxi color is one of the ways through which we can truly say that, okay, we are completely cutting ourselves off from these people. We are independent. We want to be independent. It's the same thing like the tax law. We want to pay our liberation tax. This is a way of saying that truly we want to be our own people. We want to be free. And so I think that the president, whenever he comes out and speak, it gives us courage. It gives us hope to know that truly the independence of Ambazonia is not a mere thing. It's not some a rhetoric, or it's not just what people always say, that will not thing. No, it's actually a reality. It's something that we will get it. And I'm happy to be serving under him, and I'm happy to know that we have people who still understand the importance of these things, just like the barrister is saying. It's very important. People may rise, some other leaders may rise to attack the policies because they feel neglected or they've not been consulted. But it's a shame because deep inside they know that what he's doing is the right thing for Ambazonia. It's just the pride to align and push it as it is. But irrespective of the alignment or anything, we know that it's working. And whoever is bearing the brunt is La Republic, and that is the whole idea of the policy.
And from the barrister statistics, the policy has been 85% success, and we give the credit to the forces on the ground. We give the credit to the Ambazonian people. We give the credit even to the taxi drivers themselves. They also want to be free. So now let's shift the focus. There's a central piece, a groundbreaking policy which the leader talked about, and which over the last few months the Ambazonia Governing Council has been working tirelessly. That is the foreigners residence permit tax. That is coming on starting July 1, and that's tomorrow. As from tomorrow, all 4 specifically citizens of La République de Cameroon are required to pay the residence permit tax. Barrister, just like the liberation tax, the Ambazonia Governing Council put a team of experts, legal minds like you, even though you are not one of them, through its Department of the Department of the Legal and Justice Department, a team of experts to draft a policy that is consistent with international and natural laws in terms of the context of our liberation struggle. Ambazonians, some movements, leaders, activists that are always short-sighted because they don't take the time to reason or to do research, but they only do knee-jerk reactions. Will obviously at some point start doing the same thing they've always done, agitate. Just like the liberation tax, a lot of Ambazonians, those that are always agitating, internal opposers, rejected it, opposed it. Now you know a groundbreaking policy will be introduced tomorrow, will become effective as from tomorrow. In your opinion, Barrister Tumasang, just like the liberation tax, the success of the liberation tax has changed how the war is being funded and how forces are receiving funds. It's also a policy of defiance and a resistant policy. In your opinion, just like the taxi color, the Ambazonia Governing Council is very proactive. We want to ask you, before I get to the barrister, let me bring you in for quickly. Madam Press Secretary, in your opinion, this policy, what do you make of this policy that will be introduced tomorrow? And how would this policy change the face of the resistance and the nature of our resistance against La République occupation?
Thank you very much, Spokes. And just before I say anything to that, I would just like to correct something that the leader said. We are postponing this. So the effective implementation is not starting tomorrow. He said it will start in a few months. So from what I know, just like the previous policies and just like the tax law, just like the taxi colors, just like the pins, just like the Ambazonian anthem itself, just like any other thing that represents us, that shows our authority over the land of Ambazonia, I think that this is, people have to start understanding that these are two different nations. So if you're living within our country, you must behave the way Ambazonians behave. Just like it's often said that when you go to Rome, you must do like the Romans do. So I believe that they have to start understanding that Ambazonia is a nation of its own. So if you live in Ambazonia, you must be able to abide by the laws of Ambazonia, and you must pay your dues, because you don't go into any nation and live in that nation, work and live freely without paying taxes to the government of that nation. You don't stay there freely without having an ID card that proves your stay in that allows you to stay in that country, that allows you to operate in that country, or even own bank accounts, or own a home, or do anything, operate, run businesses, or even go to school in that country. So you must be able to live and abide by the laws of that nation. And this is what Ambazonia, the leader, is trying to put out there, so that these people will understand that these are two different nations. You must pay your taxes. We pay taxes. People over the last decade have been paying taxes to the government of La République du Cameroon. There was nothing wrong with that. So now
also did. I also did when I applied for my permanent residence. In Canada at that time. Even now,
right.
Every Amazonian or anybody in Canada here who qualified to apply for permanent residence, they pay. I think right now the fee is up to, I think it's about $1,600.
Right.
For that's just the application.
That's the application. So that is just what we are. And to be honest with you, spokes, we have to start taking control, because we want independence, and we are transiting into, we have to start putting governance into place. Just like the barrister said, that the CIC is putting himself and consistently bringing up these policies, because he doesn't just see the fighting of the war, but he also sees the governing of the nation after the independence of Ambazonia. And this is what we are looking at. We cannot just say that we just want independence. So when we get independence, then what? So is it the time that we have to start building institutions, start taking authority, implementing policies that have to be working in our nation? So we have to start preparing all of those now. And he has that foresight, and he's already preparing our people for governance, post-independence. And this is what we are doing right now. And I'm glad that we have these legal minds amongst us that come out with these policies and to educate our people to see exactly the future of Ambazonia, to see what they will be getting into. And so I will also just leave that to the barrister. I hope I'll have the opportunity to ask him my own questions.
Sure, you ask your own question. Obviously, you ask your own question. I just wanted to shift a little bit to the barrister. He brought up something, and it's a problem that our people have faced, which the barrister had talked about. And the problem is that whenever there is a policy, you always hear, and the president and the leader talked about this very extensively in his outing. This thing about our people, they go suffer. It will make our people, they go suffer. It will make our people, they die. They always use this excuse, right?
Yeah.
And the leader has stated, the pain, the suffering of the Ambazonian people is not caused by Ambazonian resistance. It's caused because of Cameroon's occupation. So
we have suffered. Right.
Go ahead. So, Barrister, what do you make of Ambazonian activists? What do you make of Ambazonian activists consistently using the excuse that our people are suffering, that our people should not fight because they will die? Our people should not observe Ghost Town because La Republique will come and kill them. Our people should not resist because they will suffer. What do you make of this mindset and this attitude and these excuses? Or maybe it's not an excuse. Maybe it's a deliberate game.
First of all, I'd like to correct you. La Republique activists are not even saying anything. The activists were dead. All the Paul Nilongs and what who were ranting, talking every day. Did you hear them again for the past 6 months? All the activists were dead. They had a meeting that they wanted to come back. Where are they? So there is nothing like activists. They were not even saying anything because there were no more. This policy of taxi color is what even resuscitated some activists to come and talk. So the activists had basically disappeared. So a few have resurfaced. So as Ayaba mentioned in his speech, you cannot only be crying about the cost of resistance. How about the cost of acquiescence to stay under bondage, to stay in immiseration, to stay in subjugation? How about that cost? So these our people will suffer. They are just using it as blackmail. If you see, they said they burned the taxi of a cripple and everybody is going haywire. They burned Mami Apia in their house. They burned one pa like that, give the child body of his child. They burned 600 villages. Where were these people? Is the taxi of a cripple. That is headline. So our people will suffer. The ones who are dying, are they not suffering? These fighters who are dying, that they're not suffering, don't they have families? So they want the drivers to, the fighters also, in order not to suffer or die, they should drop their guns and go to DDR. So that argument about our people will suffer is an smoke screen in their power game. The issue is they are fighting power between themselves. They don't know how to come direct, so they are using our people like a pawn in the big game. Our people will suffer. You think a lot of those people care our people will suffer? How much do they send to any of our people on the ground? Nothing. So the fear, as I say, the fear is true fear. The fear that Ayaba might become de facto leader and take over control of the ground. Then the fear that the fighters on the ground also might become independent and doing their things without them. So they have double fear there. When you see them, they're going up and down doing these things. The fight, unless you look behind the scenes, you will not realize the true fight that is going on. It's nothing to do with our people. Our people suffering, have they not been suffering? I'm asking, when you make ghost town on Mondays, our people not suffering? Do you know how money they lose that they should have been in their marketplaces? Why are you not crying about the ghost town? You want to cry. Oh, where would our people take money to pay taxi? You buy taxi for millions, you cannot get them by paying for 75,000. So they're using our people suffering just as a smoke screen. I don't think these guys care about our people at all. The only suffering our people suffer most is to stay under subjugation under La Republique. Whatever price you pay to free them, they'll come out on top.
Madam P.S., okay. Over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Spokes. Barrister, I just want to go back to what you said there right now about the suffering of our people. And one thing I've noticed amongst us, Ambazonians, and especially the sponsored activists who go out there and make a lot of noise trying to coerce our people to accepting their own narrative about the suffering of our people. What I notice is they actually do not have anything to do. You only see them come up each time the AGOVC comes out or introduce a certain policy or something that is really going to push our struggle forward. Because you saw how they came out against the liberation tax, the taxi color. And I'm very certain what they will do when they hear about this, the new policy that the spokesperson talk about. And I'm just wondering, they are afraid that the leader of our liberation, Dr. Ayaba, will become a de facto leader of Ambazonian people. And these same people who want, and they are not being consulted, in your own opinion, Barrister, these people who are so afraid that he will become a de facto leader and will rule over Ambazonia, and yet they don't bring out any policy. What message do you have to pass to this kind of people? And what is even relevant when it comes to the liberation of Ambazonia? Because we just sit and see them only when we come. The egg of CO Ayaba introduces something that is to push the liberation forward. What message do you have for these people? What should they be doing instead of just attacking policies?
My first message with them is they should learn to differentiate the policy from the person. Even if anybody brings a policy, if it's a good policy, me, I can support it. I don't see the policy more of the individual. No. You think that if Chris Ano goes and fight somewhere and kill some Ekelebes, we will not all be happy? If Sako does the same, if even Marianne, anybody who does it, why is it that if somebody does something who is not in their group, they try to downplay it or hide it or to disparage it? No, I think there is some, it's not right. And then this thing too about rulership. Ambazonia actualization, independence is still many years away. So all this thing about killing themselves about leader who's gonna take over from who is just a waste of effort. Let them just keep, everybody should just be doing his own contribution to the struggle. At the end, they say water 60th level. So, and what is gonna be, you don't even force it. So if somebody is, and then a lot of them should concentrate. If you see a guy like Sako, the whole Fako is not there. His LGA, Tico is dead. Everywhere is dead. But they come and they are fighting Ayaba every day. What is the thing? The whole of Fako, why can't you go and do what you can do there? Must it be what Ayaba does, whether it's right or wrong? Just go and do the right thing then. Let Ayaba be doing his own wrong thing. That is what this guy cannot know. Ayaba has never stopped anybody from implementing a policy which can be effective or which can be consequential on the ground. They are not bringing the policies. As we have mentioned about this residence permit, I don't think they will fight it because Sako and Chris Ano are on record before saying that Francophones should leave. The policy never worked. So if Ayaba climbs down now and say no, instead of leaving, let them just pay something and stay. It will be hypocritical for them to come and fight it. Are you not the same people who are saying that Francophones should leave? The guy is not even saying Francophones should leave. He said just give something and stay. So how will you fight that? I don't think that particular policy they will have any moral ground to fight. Anyway, they always fight, so I don't think they'll always look for something to fight.
Yeah, Barrister, the honest truth is that they always fight something. Once it comes out from this part of the movement, they always fight it, because the next thing we will hear now is that our people living in La Republique, they will be overtaxed to do certain things, forgetting that for the last 62
there will always be something.
Exactly. Our people have been overtaxed. We pay overtax in everything, even the natural air that God gave us to breathe. We pay taxes to breathe that air under La Republique du Cameroon. And we are trying to bring our people to begin to own their own freedom. And instead of standing to promote and to push this forward, we see our own people really rising ferociously against the policies that are actually meant to liberate their own people. So I keep asking myself the question, who are these people? What do they represent? What are they fighting for? Are they truly fighting for the independence of Ambazonia? Because you see people like Chris Ano coming up to say that they've banned Ayaba from the struggle. They've banned ADF from the struggle, the egg of sea from the struggle. And the thing is, if you don't see the egg of sea doing something, the Ambazonian struggle is literally dead. You don't hear anything from Chris Anus and his own IG, Sarkos and his own IG and all of that. But in a nutshell, Barrister, I want to ask on what message, advice from a legal point of view do you have to give to our people, especially when it comes to accepting this new tax that is coming to allow La Republique citizens to begin to pay their residence tax in Ambazonia, because they will still want to write.
Accept the tax is not against our people. What is their business? We are asking La Republique citizens to pay. What is our people? We're not asking our people to pay anything. So whether they accept or not, is the alien we are asking to pay. So let them not go. Aliens' problem may be their problem. Don't worry about. I said nobody will fight that particular policy, because these guys, their hands are already dipped in it. They were saying Francophone should go. Now they just say Francophone pay something and stay. That is a better option than saying they should go. So we are protecting our people on their side. If they like, government should impose tax on our people on their side also, which the government will not want to be seen to be discriminating in the taxing policy. So let them do what they want. So I don't think this one is something you should worry yourself about. It will be a clean sailing because of the history.
Okay.
There is a policy which I don't know, which is being debated now behind the scenes, which I don't know whether I should talk about here or I just leave it. But there is another new policy which is coming, which if it is finally cleaned up, it can be very wonderful also.
Okay, Barrister, I will leave that to your discretion to decide if to talk about that particular policy. I may not even know about the policy you're mentioning, but in terms of the leader of the Liberation made mention in his speech that Ambazonian citizens should stop paying taxes to La Republique Treasury because they keep empowering La Republique via their taxes to come and, brutalize our people, promote their genocidal war in Ambazonia. As a legal mind, as a seasoned legal mind, what in your view is this? How does it resonate
No,
with...
that one can just be a statement in propaganda. It cannot act the reality. The reality is La Republique is the occupying power. And if you don't pay, you cannot operate. If I go and make my document, they say put physical stamp. I don't have a choice but to buy the physical stamp and put. If you are working for La Republique, income tax, they just cut the tax straight before giving you the change. So it's a policy which cannot work and nobody is going to be enforcing it. If I pay the tax to La Republique, how will you know? So it's just a statement of defiance. I don't think it's a policy by itself. It's a defiance thing that we should not be empowering La Republique to take the money to come and you buy weapons to kill us. But it's not a policy which can be implemented. So it's okay. I can live with that as a general principle, but not implementable for now at least.
Okay. Spokes. Spokesman.
Sorry, you're talking?
No, yeah, I'm passing over to the spokes.
Okay, sorry. Is there a technical issue?
I'm thinking that, I'm also thinking that there is a technical issue there. Okay, it looks like he kind of had a technical issue there.
Yeah,
you
can continue.
Exactly. Okay, thank you very much, Barrister. And I was really interested in the conversation you were having about Sila trying to sue people, trying to creating propaganda for himself, La Republique using him, to intimidate people. And I don't want to reopen that conversation, but I want to talk about it a little because I've seen my name appear in all his documents multiple times. And it has been a cause of concern for most people who come up to speak against La Republique brutality in Ambazonia. What message do you have for our people who have been intimidated by this kind of action by individuals claiming that they are suing the leader of the Ambazonian Liberation, they are suing individuals to the ICC? In legal terms, does he even have that jurisdiction?
By suing anybody to ICC, you write a petition to ICC. If they have jurisdiction, Cameroon is not even a signatory of the Rome Statute, so ICC doesn't even have jurisdiction in Cameroon. That's the first thing. So let's not worry about the one of Cameroon. About suing people, you use what they call anecdotal evidence. The ones he has tried to sue before, like the Chris Anu, the Tapangs, and the rest, did it go anywhere? Why would these next ones be any different? So it is a game they've been playing before. A lot of money is coming. The thing is being sponsored by La Republique. A lot of people are fitting fat in the thing. So we cannot be talking theoretically. Anybody can sue anybody. Whether the thing would go ahead or not is something else.
That is the thing, Barrister. I'm so glad that you are on this show today and you're bringing clarity to our people, because actions like this have shut down a lot of genuine activists who are speaking for our people. Women who stand to speak for our IDPs, our refugees, are scared, and they have been intimidated by this social media bullying by people like Sila. And it is so disturbing, because we need people, not just women or people, to stand up against this brutality of La Republic and keep and continuous talking about it, in which is a way of, putting our plight out there to the world for people to know exactly what is happening. Because if we see there is a lot of intervention in what is happening in Gaza and the Palestinian-Israeli war, it's because of the way these people have projected what is happening in their country. And these people have used this kind of tool to intimidate our people, and our people have taken a back seat. They are so scared to even put their face out there and talk about what is happening on the ground. So I'm so happy that you brought a lot of clarity on this. Those that were scared that, we don't want to put our face out there to talk about Cameroon's brutality in our homeland, because we will become a subject of an ICC court case and all of that. So I'm happy that you brought that clarity. So because I did not start this conversation with you, and I just came in the middle of it, but I know that you guys have covered so much ground, and a lot has been discussed. You've brought a lot of clarity on different policies and on different topics. I will not want to keep you any longer. So if I may come to you there, Barrister, and ask you, in terms of everything that we've discussed today, especially you and the spokesman, what will be your closing remark, and what message do you have for Ambazonians, especially moving forward?
The closing remark which I will give Ambazonian is, the way the life is, people were expecting the king to come from a big family and the rest, the Messiah to come very powerful as a king. He came in as a carpenter's son. So you never know where salvation comes from. People should keep an open mind. People should judge what people are doing rather than what others are saying. If you see people fighting, don't get carried away. Look between the lines and see whether is there any something else these guys are fighting, or are they fighting what they claim they are fighting. Secondly, this fight is a long way to go. People should not think in Eritrea it took like 20-something years, South Sudan took like 19 years, East Timor took like 21 years. So we have been there for 8 years. So we are still perhaps a long way to go, we don't know. So, but there is no way this fight will ever end again unless the Republic sits on the table with us and try to come with some accommodation. It will never happen. And the thing is, people should know that no matter what you do, there is always a price to pay. Even if you say you are doing ghost town on Monday, it's not a free lunch. Somebody is paying that price. Some guy is shop not open, he lost money that day. The next thing, so it's not this thing about making omelets without breaking egg doesn't exist in the real world. So people should have that in mind, and people should support the struggle in every way you can support. If you want to support Ayaba, go ahead. If you think you can support Cristiano, go ahead. If you think even Sako, Marianta, but support somebody. Try and make your own contribution in the struggle, either anonymously or you show your face, like some of us do. So you can choose anyone and do. So please, this struggle is still live and it is active and it's going ahead. Those who thought that normalcy has come, the war is finished, and they are living in a pipe dream. This war is not going anywhere any soon. Until a republic, either Biya comes to the table or he dies and his replacement comes to the table. But somebody will come to the table. Thank
Definitely.
you.
Thank you very much, Barrister, and thank you for taking out time to speak to the people. You've not spoken to me, you've spoken to Ambazonians, and Ambazonians are really delighted to have you today because you've brought a lot of clarity in a lot of things, and I hope your office is open, your desk is open whenever we need you to come on board and further talk to our people and bring especially clarity in legal terms or in legal issues to our people, to give them better understanding of what is happening. And just like you said, Barrister, the war is still ongoing. It was never going to be a walk in the park. And just like it is said, freedom has never been handed down to any people. They fight for it, they
Yeah.
take it. And
No, to be honest, everybody is serving in his own small way. If there is
exactly.
something I believe I can help in Ambazonia, in any platform, whether it's ABC TV, I go there. If you call me here, anything that can help, even the little knowledge I have in something, I don't mind to come and give, spend my time to give. That's the only way we can help. And I believe others also should spend, even if it's your 30 minutes on this struggle. Sometimes I go and write. You think I like to be writing on Facebook, but that's the only way you reach to our people. If I want to write to the international community, I go and write on Twitter. Our biggest problem where they don't know this thing is we are not tweeting. Yes, Ayaba is on Twitter. Chris Anu is not on Twitter. Sako is hardly tweeting. Nobody is tweeting. Biafra Prime Minister tweets like 1,000 tweets. How would they not know his struggle? How do they know our struggle? We are classified as the second most neglected struggle in the world. The second most
And this
neglected
has been
crisis. Because our
consistent,
people don't
Barrister.
tweet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this has been consistent since 2018. We've been classified at different levels. It is either we are the first, we are the second, we are the fourth, we are the fifth. And because we have concentrated everything on Facebook or just on WhatsApp groups, insulting one another,
yes, and
talking
fighting
against
among
one another,
ourselves.
and fighting
Nobody knows
ourselves,
anything.
instead of putting the plight of our people out there. And when somebody comes up with a policy or a strategy that can help push our revolution forward, we come out to fight it. But like you said, we have to come together and contribute to the liberation of homeland, because the goal here is for us to free Ambazonia and bring our people back home to a place that they can truly call their own home. So thank you very much, Barrister, and keep tweeting and keep, as you can see, Dr. Ayaba is on Twitter. He's not sleeping. He continues to put out information that will not only be consumed by Ambazonians, but the entire international community, which has been very, very helpful to our cause. So thank you very much, Barrister. Keep doing what you're doing, but always also, let's
thank you. And to our fighters, if they are listening, to our fighters, the policy of taxi is good, but please try and be peaceful with it. Try and be peaceful. We know there could be collateral damage, but the policy from the beginning was designed to be peaceful, persuasion. So try and be peaceful. There is no need for loss when there is no need for that loss. We are succeeding with the policy even without any violence, please. That's the only thing I will advise them.
And then
thank you very much.
Before I will not let you go until you say something to refugees, prisoners, and the IDPs, Barrister. So give a word of encouragement to them, so they know that we think we have them.
For the IDPs, please, wherever you are, we know things are hard there, but just know that yes, even Moses even Joseph who went as an IDP in Egypt, he ended up being the ruler there. So there is hope. Please, there is hope. So for those in prison, don't think that your life is finished because you are in prison. Sooner or later, you will leave that place. It's a matter of time. So you people should just keep at, and even if you are in prison, the war still continues. There are people who are still fighting from behind bars, as I know you guys are doing, maybe privately and using different names, but people are fighting even behind those bars. So I thank you people for your sacrifice. Thank the refugees also for all they are suffering on our behalf. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister. That was a beautiful way to end this interview this afternoon, this evening, this morning, whoever is watching from. So, Ambalanders, you've heard it from Barrister Tumasang there. Stay strong, especially our mothers, our fathers who are in different refugee camps, those in Nigeria, those in neighboring countries, even those of us here abroad. We should also continue to fund and support the struggle. Ambazonia is our business. It is not their business. So, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, whatever you have to put on the table to make sure that Those that are fighting on the ground have food to eat, to replenish themselves, to go out there and protect your home, protect your families, protect your streets. Make sure you do not hesitate to send them that support. For our prisoners of war who are languishing in different prisons, also, please come together. Let us support them. Let them know that we love them. Let us know that we have not forgotten their sacrifices, because it's because they've stood up for the independence of Ambazonia that they are now languishing in jails. So, and also for our IDPs, our refugees, know that we love you and we are doing everything to bring you back home to the place that you will call home. Ambazonians' freedom is, like the leader will always tell you, it is not negotiable. It is total and unconditional independence for Ambazonia. And as you can see, he's not blinking. He's not stopping today or tomorrow until Ambazonia is free. So thank you all very much for your time this evening, and continue to follow the leader on his Facebook, on his Twitter page, and also on his YouTube account. Once again, the leader is no longer on Facebook. His Facebook page has been disabled, and he has no intentions returning to Facebook, because Facebook has on multiple occasions disabled his page by collaborating with La République du Cameroon. So let us continue to follow him on his official Twitter account and on his official YouTube account for updates and for information regarding our struggle, the state of the Ambazonian revolution, and everything that has to do with Ambazonia. So thank you very much and have a wonderful day. God bless you. Short live the struggle, long live Ambazonia, and one for all for one. God bless you.
We've come here to tell the United Nations that the land they mortgaged to Cameroon will be recaptured by the brilliant people of Ambazonia.
Right! Yes!
That the complicity they had with the United Kingdom will be dampened. That your spirit, the indomitable spirit that has led you from your homes right here to this plaza, will not be extinguished by the banality of evil installed in our homeland. That the spirit that has awakened from the dusty street of Mutengene to the alleys of Bamenda will not be squashed by the brutality of Cameroon, the complicity of the United Nations, and the utter silence of the United Kingdom. For the blood of our people spilled for those who've gone before us, we stand like valiant soldiers to lay our lives to ensure that their blood wasn't spilled in vain, that they didn't die in vain, that the mothers who scream for their daughters, the fathers who are on shore where their kids are detained, wouldn't mourn in vain. I have come here as a soldier of the revolution. I have come here to assure you that this is just the first step to internationalize our struggle, to make the international community understand our pain, the pain of the mothers, the yearning of the fathers, and the doubts plastered on the faces of our kids. That the land, the 43 square meter land that we own, will not be mortgaged, will not be taken by any other country. That we are ready, that we will fight block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, until the day, as the last speaker said, we will be able to install a government in Boya, a government for the Ambazonians, a government by the Ambazonians, that is going to speak for us, fight for us, make treaties for us. We are not going to allow an alien dominating power from Yaoundé to decide our future, decide the curriculum of our education, decide which language we speak in our courts. And if the lawyer said no, right from here in New York, we send a message to Yaoundé that we are ready for the gendarmes, the big, and all the evil spirits that have been installed in our homeland. That we will give our life for a free Ambazonia. That if this country was built on the blood of people from distant places, we are ready as soldiers of the revolution to make sure that one day, just one day, we have a homeland to call our own, a place to dwell in peace, a place where we as a people can decide our destiny. You've just got started. It's a long journey. Liberation is not a walk in the park, and I want you to be ready. Do not believe soothsayers who say You are just going to have it on a platter of gold. It's going to be a hard struggle. But the footprints you leave here today will be followed by those after us. They will know we were here. They will know we fought for them. They will know we died for them. They will know we did our part. And so they will use the same rope now to be able to inhabit Africa. If that's the only thing we can give our children, let's do it for Mother AMBAZONIA. I want to thank your leadership. I want to thank all those who've made it possible for me to be here. Together as a people, we will fight together, go to jail together, so one day we may be free together. Come on.
Welcome to ACN.
for the right to be free, and we will build our own society, and we will sing, we will sing, we will sing our own song. Yes, yes, we will fight for the right to be free, and we will build our own society, and we will sing, we will sing, we will sing our own song. Oh yeah, we'll fight for the right to be free, and we will build our own society, and we will sing, we will sing, we will sing our own song. Ambazonia, happy with you. 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 Ambazonia, happy with you.
You can see that.
I think we drop it. Yeah. Someone will go.